On this week's Gadget Show Web TV, John's testing the HTC Legend. I bring you this week's best tech news and take a trip to the world-famous Abbey Road studios. Hello and welcome to this week's Web TV. Right, later on I take a trip to the world-famous Abbey Road studios. But first up, John's got his hands on the HTC Legend, which got us rather excited when we first heard about it at the Mobile World Congress earlier this year. So, over to John to see if it really lives up to the hype.
HTC are launching lots of new phones this year, and this is one of the latest, the Legend, successor to the well-regarded Hero. It's got a very desirable OLED touchscreen with bright colours, lovely contrast, and indeed very good touch sensitivity. I found it much easier to navigate my way around on this and indeed type on it than on the Hero's touchscreen. I also like the new optical trackpad and push button, very good, and indeed the hard buttons at the bottom of the screen for things like getting to the home screen and summoning up menus. I also like the rather gorgeous aluminium styling with rubbery bits to help you keep a grip on the phone, the bottom one of which actually detaches to reveal the battery, the SIM card slot, and indeed the memory card slot, so they're easily accessible. It runs Android 2.1, so you get multi-touch. There's also been a number of advances made to HTC's Sense user interface. For example, there's an application called Friend Stream, which amalgamates all the updates from your various social networking accounts like Facebook and Twitter. There's also a new text highlighting tool and a feature where you can view all your home screens at once by pressing the home key twice, and indeed an FM radio. It runs a slightly faster processor at 600 MHz than the one in the Hero, not as fast as the Snapdragon processor in the Desire, but nevertheless I found web browsing a satisfyingly quick experience. Overall then, it looks like a pretty good phone, though there are a number of disadvantages I think you should consider before signing up. Firstly, the battery life is nothing special, even by smartphone standards. Not only do you have to charge it up every day, if you use it really hard, I think you'll end up charging it towards the end of the day as well. Also, traditional HTC bugbear, the camera really isn't very good at all. It does have an LED flash now, which is one up on the Hero, but overall the 5-megapixel pictures were rather lurid in colour and a bit fuzzy, and the flash is very unpredictable. It can be extremely bright. I mean, this picture I took of Susie here is barely recognisable. And these pictures of Otis and Jason aren't much good either. Another problem, a minor one you might think, but it's very irritating in daily use, is that the on-off button is extremely sensitive and it's impossible to tell whether the phone is in standby or off altogether. And the only way to wake it up is by pressing the on-off button, which is also the same way as switching the phone on. So say if you're checking that the phone's off before going to bed, you can often find yourself switching on and going through the whole rigmarole of that. It's also very easy to switch on the phone by accident. Overall though, if you can live with those shortcomings, the Legend is a very good phone indeed.
News time now, and first up, with E3 just around the corner, it looks like that rumour mill is already in full swing. And interestingly, the first story to surface is that the basic Xbox 360 will be going black, slimline, and come bundled with the forthcoming Project Natal. Natal was announced at E3 last year, so it's no real surprise that more information on the device will be given at this year's event. But what's more interesting is the talk of that slimmed-down Xbox 360, which, if it turns out to be true, will look like Microsoft have taken a leaf out of Sony's books after their surge in sales of the PS3 directly after the launch of their slimmed-down version last September. So it really is a logical step for Microsoft to go slim with their console and include their latest peripheral as part of the package. However, as with all rumours, nothing is set in stone. But with E3 just a few weeks away, we won't have long to find out. And you can be sure that we will bring you all the latest happenings from the event. Next up, Virgin Media has just announced its plans to jump into online films with the launch of Virgin Media Online Movies. Virgin is hoping it can bring some of its movie magic to the web and has teamed up with Film Flex, the company who currently provide movies to its set-top boxes. They plan to launch the new service in May with hundreds of titles, including recent movies such as Fantastic Mr. Fox and District 9. Those who wish to use the service will have to set up an account through Virgin Media's website. Once done, users will have 48 hours to watch whichever movies they've chosen. And the bonus of this service over Sky's Sky Player is that you're not tied to any one PC, as Virgin Media Online Movies works directly from the account rather than the device used. Sadly though, prices don't look any cheaper than if purchasing directly from your set-top box, with a movie coming in at around $3.99. Abbey Road Studios have seen some of the biggest bands pass through their doors, such as the Beatles, Radiohead and Oasis, as they created some of their most unique and famous albums. Well, now it seems you don't need to book the studios to create your next album, as they've just released a new home audio plugin, which claims to create that authentic Abbey Road sound. So I headed to the studios to check out how it all works. Abbey Road has been at the heart of the music industry since 1931. Home to the iconic Beatles album Abbey Road, it has also brought the music industry a host of pioneering advances in recording, award-winning engineers and historic audio equipment which add to make it an amazing venue for any band to record their latest album. So this is Studio 2, probably the most famous recording studio in the world. But Abbey Road's latest venture is all about bringing that studio sound to those at home. And I know just the chaps who can tell us all about it. So I'm here with Glyn and Mirek, who are going to tell us a little bit more about the new plugin that they've released. So you ventured into the compressor plugin, which is the new release for you. Can you just tell us a little bit more about it and how this idea came about?
Well, a plugin is a piece of software that extends a larger computer program. So in musical terms, when people make music on the computer, they use digital audio workstation like Pro Tools or Ableton, and they can plug our piece of software into that, and it gives them the sound of Abbey Road's vintage outboard gear.
Brilliant. Now you've got the software set up here. Would you mind giving me a little bit of a demonstration and talking me through how it all works?
Yeah, certainly. So this is the RS124 compressor. It has a very unique sound. It's a very smooth, sort of creamy, sort of very musical sound that it adds to your music. And what we've done is we have created a software version. So what I can do, first of all, I can give you an audio demonstration as to what it actually sounds like, and then what I can do is flick between the hardware, the software, the hardware, the software, and hopefully you should hear no difference whatsoever.
And this is completely raw, this is just the recording as it happens?
Yeah, okay. No effects added to this. And now I'm going to flick the plug-in.
Okay.
Hear it's a very sort of sucky sort of sound. Yeah. It's really playing with the dynamics of the signal, which is a very desirable effect, especially for drums.
Yeah.
So I flicked about 5 or 6
Did you?
times there.
I thought you were going to say when you were flicking. Do you know what? I didn't notice anything at all.
Couldn't hear any difference there when I was
Nope.
flicking between the two.
Not at all.
Fantastic. Well, that's great.
Now it's not just the compressor that you've got on the software side of things either. You've also got a drums plug-in.
We've been sampling instruments. What you've got here is 2 drum kits. One is a very sort of open, widescreen, very ambient sort of sound. We've also got a dry sound, so we brought lots of screens out, lots of carpets to get a very sort of tight, punchy sound, which is also a signature sort of sound during that decade. In reality, what this actually means is you can map out drums recorded in Abbey Road on any keyboard or any other controller.
What we're trying to do with these software tools is give people all over the world the chance to have a piece of the Abbey Road sound wherever they are.
But the comparison's not, it's hardly noticeable to my ears anyway. Obviously to professionals like yourself maybe you can distinguish the difference. But thank you, that was absolutely brilliant. Well, sadly, that's all we've got time for this week, but remember there is a wealth of other content to check out right here on this very site, including coverage from the recent Gadget show live and Jason's first play of the upcoming PlayStation Move. And don't forget to check out the main show this Monday night at 8 on 5, because this week it's the Gadget Show Sports Day, where Susie, Jason, Otis and John all show off their sporting sides as they choose the latest tech and gadgetry to compete against each other in a series of gruelling challenges. But from us here at Web TV, we will see you at the same time next week.